Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and children. Perseverus here, and welcome to my second video on Blood Bowl. So I've mashed these two into two because my second game was an early concession, which was totally understandable. But the main focus will be on the Prison Islanders, which was a super fun game. So
The following riot was really quite wonderful. Another chance to see some bloody action. Count me in.
as it loads. So this is Skrain's Chaos. I love the name of his stadium. It was wet weather, which is tough. So yeah, big teams. So I was quite excited about this one. Chaos, I think, is sort of like the big hitters of this this league. So like you've got SkuffD and you've got Skrain doing Lizardmen. So I think I win the kick. So oh no, I can't have done because I'm setting up in defense. So he's won the kick. I'm going defense. So once again, defensive setup, arrowhead. I don't know where he's going to put his Minotaur. It's unlikely that it's going to go out to the flanks. They generally don't, but just in case, I've tucked my guys in. I'm also not too worried if he goes to the edges because Chaos aren't that sort of team where, you know, a long run down the wings is the end of the world. So this is the first thing that goes horrifyingly. Ow! And I've got three players out. It's not good. His Minotaur's down, but that's not the end of the world. I really like the armor design of the Chaos Warriors in this game. So how are we looking? I think he's got 2 rerolls, yeah, which is good. He does the right things, gets my guys on the floor, marks up my guys. So this is looking to be a proper brawl. And then he goes for the pickup. And I think unfortunately he drops the ball, which obviously against Lizardmen is not ideal. So my main thing here is to get that Saurus marking this Chaos guy, because then I'm going to try some daft stuff with Skinks. So I'm not trying to pick up the ball now, I'm just trying to make it difficult for him to pick up the ball. So there's like a misconception with this game that pace matters, like you have to be really quick. You can afford to be really patient. That was really unlucky. So he used both of his rerolls in the first 2 turns, and obviously you got, did he fail his learner? Yeah, he fails his learner, so he has to go down. And is injured, it's like, fuck! Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, obviously that's not great for him. I can now, as you can see, I'm gonna try and block this guy off, is that right? What am I up to? Oh, I take a risk, so I do 1 less block here. So I've got 1 in 3 of it failing, but I've got a reroll. So I'm going to push him off. And I'm going to try and pick up the ball, and it works, so.
They're going for the ball. That's it. Aim for the ball carrier. Take them down.
So like a positional thing, ideally what you want is you want them, adjacent orthogonally. I think orthogonally is when they're directly related to you. So you basically want them, if you imagine the 8 spaces around, you want it so that it would be one of the north, east, south and west points. Because then what you can do is you can put the other guy on the other side, and that means that even if they have stunted, they have to make multiple dodges. Whereas here, as it currently is set up, I only need to make 1 dodge to get out. But yeah, so he's doing what Chaos is supposed to do, he's keeping my guys on the floor. It's not great for him that I have the ball there. So I stun my guys up just in case this goes horribly wrong, I stick a guy there just in case this goes horribly wrong, and then score. So. Pretty good start for me, fairly fortuitous in regards to the double drop. But I think that's a 1 in 4 chance of it happening, so it's not like inconceivable without sure hands, and it is definitely a big weakness. I can put those guys out now because the Mines was injured. Yeah, so with that, for someone not to pick it up without sure hands at agility 3, it's a 1 in 4 chance with a reroll. You know, and that's definitely a weakness that the Chaos have, is basically picking up the ball. There's a Riot, which I think gains us a turn.
Is this going to be enough to come out on top?
Which, you know, would be good for Skrain because it gives him more turns to sort of redress the balance.
The attacker has an assist.
He's knocking my guys down. I love that animation.
That player is about to get punched above.
And unfortunately, he gets the 1 dice, both down. So I'll stun my guys up, do the stuff for free. I'm going to reset my line. I think I leave that Saurus off the line now. Not much left of this, as you can see. So I think it's quite an interesting decision, the concede, so it's got some benefits and some negatives. So yeah, I'm trying to reduce the chances of him being able to take the ball off me. That's fine, I'll stuff him in the corner. And at that point, with 2 skins being there, he gets the concede. Now, I think that the advantage of the concession, he's denying me experience. I get 2 MVPs, but actually, you know, I could have got more casualties, I could have got more touchdowns. You know, this definitely could have been another 3 or 4-0 game if, you know, I played well, and if, you know, the dice were as charming to me, I think, as they had been at the beginning of that game. And like, so to put that into perspective, the 3rd Legion, who plays the Undead, who I think are the team I'm most worried about playing, he went 5-0 and caused something like 3 or 4 casualties in like the equivalent game to this. So he's gained, so I've gained 10, 12, 15 star player points. He's gained about 28 to 30, which is not great for me going ahead. The downside is that he doesn't get any star player points, and I don't think he gets any winnings, which obviously means that for his next game he doesn't build it, like, he doesn't get to build his team in the same way that perhaps his next opponent is. But that can have like positive and negative effects. So yeah, Prison Islanders, this was by far a long way.
Yes, let's see that again.
My favourite game of the tournament so far. It was really chilled, it was really fun, and it was really stressful. So yeah, we're in the Outback. These are the Prison Islanders. It's weird seeing Dark Elves in white, gotta be honest.
Here come the girls.
Our boys.
Enough will bless those bouncing pops.
So
The teams going into this game are well matched. I'm expecting a close-fought game.
There you go.
So I think I go first.
You're not pregnant, are you?
What the?
Don't expect
Okay.
anything in Blood Bowl. Except blood.
So he sets up his defense. Now props to him, so I was speaking to him. He hasn't been playing this game very long, so I think he's been playing 2 weeks, right? Which is nuts. You know, he's just been sort of thrown in a whirlwind going into a tournament this early, but like, he's been, I was really impressed how he played. He's a really nice guy. So there's a blitz, so this is quite good for him in a way because he can sort of flood my zone. So a blitz is when any players on the defending team that aren't in contact with the player, which is in this case a lot, get a move. One person can do a blitz action, so that's like where you move and block. Now I think in terms of how I would run this, I would maybe still have a couple of guys on this right hand side of the pitch or his left, because it's clear that my guys are beelining down that way. And because of a touchdown, I get to put it on a person of my choice. And I'm not going to put it on a guy at the back, because that would involve a pass, and I don't want to pass. So I've got my guy here. So I'm going to set up what we call a side cage. So a side cage is like a regular cage, except that you have your ball carrier on the edge of the pitch. Now, the reason I can do this with impunity is because this guy has sidestep, which means that when you block me, I can move in whatever direction I choose that's free. So I now can't be blocked off the side of the pitch. So, you know, even if the frenzy lady gets me, I just go this way. I choose to go that way. Or if she blocks me from 12, I go that way. And she's doing this all while being surrounded by a load of angry saurus. So, you know, and I'm going to make it a bit more difficult. I'm really not focused on blocking here where I don't need to. I'm not even necessarily interested in like having guys in contact. I'll just sit off because, you know, that's really not my game. I think people are surprised. So that's a really good move. I think people are surprised by how little I want to fight with my swords and with my team. But I think this is a really solid way to do it. So I think personally, like if I was doing this, I'd have maybe a few more guys down here, force me to work hard. Because as you can see, if he doesn't, I only have to get through one guy in order to score.
Yeah, smells like a good old-fashioned
We'll see.
fight.
Oh yeah! So like he gets in there and he knocks the fucker down. I'm like,
It was time. Not far from the end.
this made me very angry. So, yeah, he just brawls in, and this is like this sort of random
Not what you'd expect.
element makes it really exciting. I think he rerolls, but I don't think he gets it. No. So, I mean, all of a sudden I'm sitting there going, but my carefully laid plans. That was an insane dodge. I think it's like a 4+ to get to there. And then she has to block me and get a 1 in 6. I think it's, wait. Some say like a 7 in 9 to take down like someone with dodge and sidestep, like sidestep. In fact, it might be a 4 in 9.
Pushing.
So I'm clearing these guys. I knock her out because she's only on 7 due to an injury. But I've still got this assassin who's a problem. I'm going to mark him because I don't want to, you know. So I have to go for it, but that's worth it. That's another reason why I like Saurus. They don't have low now, so if I need to go for it with them, it doesn't matter if I fail. I think I fail again. And then and I fail my dodge. That's like a 1 in 9, and he dies. Like, which is insane. So I use my apothecary and miss his next game. The only reason I did that because he was leveled up. If it was a normal skink, I'd let him die. So yeah, this game, the dice are not necessarily shining on me. I wouldn't say that, you know, that's a bad thing. It's entirely expected. But I think what's important is that this game highlights. Yeah, that's a monkey fit. I think this game highlights is that yes, bad dice are bad, but you can still win with bad dice. It's all about, you know, like, for fuck's sake. The worst thing about this is because I have to use that, I can't use my reroll to pick up the ball. And it's like I so desperately need to pick up the ball. That's fine. I can get a Saurus on the on the ball, which will make it difficult for him to pick it up. I'm gonna try and pick it. Oh, am I not? Am I just gonna? Do I just decide to play it safe? Yeah, I just play it safe because he's not going to get the ball off me there, and that means next turn I can go in it with a reroll, and it's one less turn for him to reply, which is quite important. So yeah, I was brave. Does he try again? Does he actually succeed? No, he doesn't. Like, the dice aren't necessarily being kind to him either, but fucking hell. Yeah, I was too tempted not to do it off the pitch. Don't think I ended up getting an armor break on him. I think it's just off the pitch. Look at this shit. There we go. I scored. But I now have no rerolls, so the rest of this half is going to be interesting. Sexy ladies. Shaking that ass. I like the pattern, gotta be honest. So cross. So, I'm now in defence, and I've got a tough gig now because I've got to essentially defend for 13 turns in order to win. And one thing I am happy about is that I'm going to be able to show you a classic defence, and this is how you should defend. You know, in theory. You can defend physically. I prefer doing it this way, especially obviously with the players that I've got. Like, I wouldn't do it with dwarves, but with would I? It depends if I've got guys that can get off the front line. But like, if you're playing elves, you're playing lizardmen. If you're playing, you know, Skaven, this will highlight, you know, what's the right thing to do. Both teams lose turn. Yeah, that's good for me. Okay, so, man, that stab. I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of stab. It's scary, but it's not particularly effective, in my opinion.
That's a solid formation.
So he sets up a nice cage here. I really like that. Now, he doesn't need that back one, but no, he doesn't really need that back one. But I guess it would be a 3 dice block his choice if you put a guy there and I got a skin around. Not that I'd bother doing that, but just in case. Yeah, that was unfortunate for him. But it's not the end of the world. He's got his cage set up. There's a Saurus on the floor. So I'll stand him up for free. And now I'm going to set up my defense. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to maximize tackle zones and depth, so that one, if he blitzes one on my line, there's depth to prevent him from flooding through. And then second, so that if he decides to run through, he's got to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tackle zones, right? So he's got to make a fuck ton of dodges just to get through. And then I'm going to clear off the line. And you need 10 players to do this. So my left is a little bit vulnerable, but it's going to be quite difficult for him to get around there.
If the player is pushed here,
My
it will
line's slightly
finish in the
impacted, but
public.
that's not the end of the
And
world.
in general, fans are much more dangerous than players.
Oof. 3 dice blocks, man. Heavy. Definitely the right thing to do there. So yeah, it impacts my line. It means I've got to make a dodge roll. Forcing dice rolls is really important. That guy's obviously got to make quite a few. Now, that one, like, so he basically would have had to do a go for it, and he had no reroll, so 2+, like, you don't want to risk it. But it does mean that his runner is open to a blitz. But he keeps catching me out with a rule that I'm going to go through in a moment because it is a cool rule. I love Dark Elves, they're fucking impossible to get the ball off. And you're about to see why. Yeah, so I'll stand them up. It's nice that you didn't hold back there.
Unity is strength.
So I'm going to block this guy.
Thesaurus. They hit hard.
Cock him unconscious.
Night, night. Don't let the bed
And I
run
think,
white.
do I blitz now?
Really, don't let them.
Okay.
They're massive.
So I move my line across because I've got to defend this shit. So at this point, like, obviously if you can get it across, that witch has got a free reign, but you know, I'm kind of banking on that ball not being there. So
Players in trouble, Bob.
dump off is a cool
Get rid of the
thing.
ball, Jim.
It's a shame he fails it.
Protect from the danger zone as if it was a rancid nerdling.
But yeah, so I just get a guy on the ball. I try and dodge that guy out and he fails, which is a shame. I've got a Saurus on the ball, so it's not the end of the world. It makes it a bit difficult for him.
So close.
Ah, my face, my beautiful face. So yeah, dump off basically means that when you suffer a block, if you're the ball carrier, you can elect to pass the ball. So it has to be a short pass, or a quick pass, sorry. So the shortest range that you can do. But it basically means that, like, especially if he's not in contact with anyone, if it's a blitz, they blitz to get the ball carrier, and then you release the ball and send it to someone else, and all of a sudden they can't attack your ball carrier. And that's just insane. Like, it's so good. So
Is the ball burning their hands?
he gets, I mean, obviously he's got -2 to his roll. And send another guy off the pitch.
Here comes
I
the
think the ball,
Was that
yeah.
aimed at a player?
So I can't score, which is a real shame,
Tried to kill the target with the ball as a
but
miss,
I can
rather
prevent
than
him from
handing
scoring
them
by
back.
just putting as many
Good
bodies
job
on the ball as
crowd are
possible.
useless at throwing then.
That's why they're in the stands and not on the field.
No, that's fine.
And that's
So
the ball going the wrong way.
I do a pass because,
Handoff,
you know,
followed by a great pass. A classic combination.
I'd like star player points. And then I do some shoves and, you know, the half will end. What's his other chance to reply? So that's sort of, you know, that line that you saw, that sort of a classic agile team's defense.
That's even see.
And it, you know, it generally works quite well. I mean, things it struggles against, like other stunty teams, can be problematic. War dancers with leap, or just, you know, any the fucking assassin. Any big, you know, a high agility team can be a problem.
Well, I could start my own.
You know, wizards can be a problem. Just punching a hole in your defensive line. That's obviously not great for him having 2 guys knocked out. Swish, 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 swish.
We're about to start the next down.
They don't even
None of
run
the
proper.
KO'd
So yeah, I'm going to
players
set up the
are
same
looking up.
defense.
Lazy
So now I've got to
bitch.
do that again, but I've
Players
got to do it
now
over 8
hard to
turns,
come back from. He'll need
which
some
is just
subs.
trauma.
Important
But he's,
thing,
you know, he's not got the
gotta
biggest
keep possession of the ball,
field in
not
team,
lose it.
so I'm
Strike
feeling
back,
quite
be
confident.
careful.
But as you see, this half turns out to be more of a struggle than than I banked for. So he gets a quick snap, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. What he does get to is he gets to disengage from my Saurus, which is quite nice. I was saying like, I mean, so what that does is prevent a blitz from being set. But he could like bank them in the corner, so have his assassin here. So his assassin stabs that middle guy, and the other two then 1 or 2 dice block, depending on the result. This Saurus. That I think was a mistake. He meant to use that guy to pick up the ball, and he pressed the wrong thing. But that's not. It's not the end of the world. He's still got the ball. He's got a guy sort of, blocking my path. He starts creating some barriers, preventing me from getting to him. So.
This is going to be decisive.
Yeah, 2 dice block is nice. Is this the one he casualties? Okay, cool. So I'm going to set up my defense again. It's unreasonable for me to get any guy there this turn, so I'm just going to defend against him for now, and deal with that when it comes. I might send one Saurus off. I can't remember. I think it's something like one Saurus off, but that was a problem. Yeah, no. Oh, that was it.
Well,
Yeah.
at least they're not dead.
Sometimes the dice just fuck you up. Really cross about that, to be honest, because I mean, in one sense, he's not like properly injured, so it's not the end of the world because I didn't have an apothecary. But it means for my next game against SkuffD, I only have 5 Saurus because I purchased another rather than 6. I was really hoping to be able to use because 6 Saurus is everyone. Like 6 is just ridiculous. Yeah, so he's got a really nice sort of offensive line going. 3 dice blocks are always nice. He does position really well with his blocks. I wonder if it's overkill, like if you could sort of use it against more things, but he's knocked out a guy, injured a guy, and all of a sudden like this half feels a lot closer than it was like 2 minutes ago. So, I'm going to set up my line. And as you can see, he's naturally gravitating there anyway, but basically I'm slowly choking him off from the rest of the pitch. I think I'm going to try and get this Saurus behind him. Yeah, so I'll get that guy off my face. And now I've got a really solid defensive line. He's going to have to work really hard to get through that. Fuck you, assassin! There we go. This time he goes down. And he's stuck, which is nice. And I've got a guy here, so now he has to sort of worry about this side. He's still got to kind of move his trajectory forwards.
On the edge of the field there, within
But like with the setup I've got, it means he can move forwards like a maximum of 2 squares a turn. And that can make it quite tricky. So yeah, like I think his position's a bit awkward here. I would personally put that guy like here or here, like just further away from, because my Saurus are gonna blitz him. And again, I keep forgetting he's got fucking dump off, but which is so cool. But yeah, like he's knuckled up. He's in it for a fight.
Absolutely have to stop him, or whatever.
So, yeah. So as you can see, the net really tightens up. I've just got to stop him from moving forward now. Lateral movement is fine at this stage because I've got the movement to keep up with him. Yeah, so I don't, because it's quite a high chance of the ball dropping onto one of his guys, and my Saurus aren't great at picking up, I just get bodies on the ball. You know. I can't get any skinks on the ball, but I tap those two guys, stand up, you know. Like, that's not a great place for his guys to be.
Missed that action.
I think he picks it up now. Yeah.
Not up to much today, poor thing.
Oh no. That was a really annoying place for it to land. How many rerolls have I got? I've got 2, okay. Yeah, so I don't want to risk that, just, I don't know, maybe I should have done, maybe I should have risked it going down there. Do I decide to do that? Okay. So
What
where
the
does it go?
fans take away, they often come back.
Yeah, it was frustrating. I'll go runner? No, don't, okay. Oh, I remember this is the fucking million blocks to take this guy down. Like, he just refuses to fall over for so long.
Only use for a ball, in my opinion, to highlight who gets hit next.
And finally I get the knockdown.
Good defensive block.
Let's take a quick look at that play. Yes, the unmistakable sign of the player's eyes rolling up into his head.
So I haven't got a reroll,
For some time.
but I pick up the ball, which is nice. So
Solid tactic. If you kill
now
the
I
carry
think,
ball, then you
so it looks pretty good for me right here. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, so he should go here, because it forces me to make more than one dodge. Yeah, I want it. So he rerolls that, so he doesn't go down. Smart. There's lots of one dice blocks, and I get very, very upset because he beats the crap out of my guys. See? Yeah, and he ships the Saurus. So
By the looks of things,
I've got a lot of guys on the floor, which is not great, so I think I just stand them up. Like, I wasn't anticipating this to be such a drag, and then this guy gets his 1 in 9 fail. That looks really awkward for me. I had to bin that player because he gets -1 strength, so I fired him. Released him into the wild, and oh my god, look at that. So
not enough tackle zones on
obviously he
that
picks
ball.
up his guy,
Now the
so
opposing
some
team
nice
has
defensive
paid the price.
line for him. Starts beating up my Saurus, and this is not looking great for me. Brave, 1 dice blocks. Risk it for a biscuit.
I thought we might have one of those
Yeah.
without at least one death.
That Saurus, I think, is the only Saurus in my team to have caused casualties. So yeah. So I've got 3 skinks that can make a difference. I'm going to flood his life with tackle zones, and then I'm going to, you know, risk it. I get the shove, which is enough.
There's no harm in making a block on
That's
the
not
ball.
a nice place for the
You can do a lot of harm. That's kind
guy
of
to be,
the
and then, you know, my Saurus falls over because fuck my life. Maybe I should have stood that guy up, but so I've got dodge, that's nice. I'm just gonna block that guy's path. So you decide whether you follow before they decide where they go, so that's why he box his guy off. I'm gonna knock that witch on her ass though. So
And when the match was over, the elf was a wreck.
I think I dodge out. Yes. Because now I've got 1 less block, 1 in 6
They're going for the ball.
of going down with no advantage.
That's it. Aim for the ball carrier. Take them down.
But I managed to knock him off the pitch. Ball comes back on. Now I don't have anything that can pick it up, I don't think. Oh, sorry, him, but he gets knocked over. Now what I probably should have done was like block, put a guy on it, but you know. Oh yeah, this is the last turn. So now, at this point, I am a gentleman. I could have gone there and he would have nowhere to score, but this was way too fun not to see him try. So I do move my guy there like a pro and give him the opportunity to score. I'm just that nice a guy. Unfortunately, he falls in his ass, but it would have been nice to see. And that's our ball game, folks. Really exciting game. And we both go down. Just Nuffle hate both of us, I think, equally in this game. So, what do I think went well for me? Well, I think the really interesting thing is just the number of dice rolls that we made, right? So if you look here, you've got like probably an averaging 20. So you're looking at about 120 dice, 2, 4, 6, 8. Maybe not that much. 90, 100, about 110, right? That's how many dice I rolled. So 27, 35, 45, 47, 57, 57, 80, 90. So I rolled about 20 less dice, right? And it doesn't sound like a great deal, but like that's, you know, it's largely to do with as well that obviously I had quite a few turnovers, but minimizing the amount of dice rolls you make can have a huge impact on sort of the number of failures, as it were, right? And where I do have failures, I tend to have auto rerolls, like dodges, for example. Yeah, it was a super fun game. Guliman's a top lad, really great character. For once, I think for the first time, I had more blocks than my opponent. But again, like 36, like the other 2 games that I faced, both my opponents, you know, but Skrain we didn't play for long enough. But like with like looking at all the other sort of games, they tend to be around the 50s and the 60s in terms of blocks. You know, my team just isn't really geared that way. We don't
They're the only ones who did.
Not that kind of team. I was not expecting to have 3 casualties from Dark Elves, but I killed one of the fuckers, so you know that makes it okay. But yeah, so there you go. That's where we're at there in terms of the league. It's going interesting. I feel really sorry for SkuffD. He's lost a Chaos Warrior as well now, so like he's down a Minotaur and a Chaos Warrior. But this is where we're at. He managed to pull a draw with the Body Stealers, which I was really impressed with. So I think provided I don't lose to him, I'm in a really good position. I've got 2 players out for next game, so I think that should have another 140 on it. So I'm about 1-3-20. I think, no, 1-2-20. Yeah. Fuck me, I can't do maths. 1-2-20, something like that. Yeah, so Undead and Humans are doing well. I'm amazed that Scuff's pulling that. Like, given his losses, he's done really well. Yeah, Guliman's had a hard curve, but he's made an amazing start. This is his first ever league, so you know, unlucky him. We got, I think, Skrain and Lizard King tomorrow.
Circle of happy serenity.
I'm
Aren't
cautiously
they a bunch of happy
gonna
copies, Jim?
bet
I
on
wouldn't like to
Skrain,
use the word
so that
cup,
means that
Bob,
Skrain will
as
jump
that
up
has
to
certain tax exemption
fifth place.
implications.
And who have I got next? I've got SkuffD. So poor Scuff, man. So I'm gonna have 5 Lizardmen against 3 Chaos Warriors and 2 Beastmen. 8 Beastmen. So we'll see how that goes. Scuff seems a pretty hardy opponent. He forced body snatches to a draw, so maybe he can pull another upset with me. But yeah, so thanks very much Skrain for the game. Thanks very much Guliman. They were awesome, and I shall see you for the next video.